let's see. So, it's so weird when you're on cam here. Uh, so I hang out in this place in the fur world, and you're typing shit all the time, so it's kind of it's kind of different. But yeah. So we're having this conversation. I made friends with this other Aussie chick, and we started talking about how different things can be in the US, and we're talking about how people ask us the same jokes all the time, and it's funny. It's funny the first time, but after like 1,000 times of hearing the same jokes, it's kind of hard to laugh, you know. So you know, for example, everybody knows when they know you're Australian, they call you, the crocodile hunter. Oh, do you know the crocodile hunter? Something about the crocodile hunter. And then, some of the older people, even, well, I don't want to be too mean, but they start talking about um, Crocodile Dundee, and they say, "Oh, do you know Crocodile Dundee?" And they start quoting lines from that movie, and I'm 29, so Crocodile Dundee movies are kind of old. They are funny, granted, but when you've heard like people quote the same lines to you for a very long time, it's not funny anymore. Like it's kind of funny that in a strange kind of way, but not funny in a funny kind of way. Like I had this guy, he was like, "Yeah, so have you? Oh, Crocodile Dundee. So you're Aussie, yeah. So that's not a knife. This is a knife." And I was like, "Yep, yep, yep, yeah. Yep. I'm trying to find this funny. I'm really trying. Like I'll smile and I'll nod and I'll try and be nice about it, but it's not funny anymore. Sorry." Um, and another one, you know, um, I know you guys loved the crocodile hunter here, and I loved him too, but in Australia, while he was alive, he was not as famous. Well, he didn't seem to be as famous in Australia as he was in the US. And so, I got here and people would be like, "Oh, so you're related to the crocodile hunter because you're Australian." I'll be like, I was thinking in my head, well, are you related to Britney Spears because you're American? How did they come up with that one? Like, and then, I didn't say it. I try and be a nice person, but I just couldn't understand the logic, like and then I was thinking in my head, I live in a small town. If I was related to Steve Irwin, wouldn't I be living in Hollywood? I mean, you'd hope he'd want to give me some money, like if I was related. I mean, not always, but it's kind of crazy just thinking that you'd always like just because you're related to someone that from one country, that means you know everybody. I mean, we'd all be fucking famous. Then what would be the point? I don't know. I mean, so yeah, my rant kind of started off. It's kind of hard to start these videos. I'll have to get better at this part of it because it's it's a bit awkward. But so I was talking to this Aussie chick, and I was talking about some of the stuff that you guys name. Like you've got this thing called s'mores, and I asked what a s'more was because we were doing like some kind of bonfirey thing, and I was like, "Oh, so would you like a s'more?" And I was like, "Well, I'd have to know what it is before I can decide whether I want one or not." And then they start laughing at me, and I'm thinking to myself, well, I'm not an American, so I wasn't brought up to know what a s'more is, okay? I'm not stupid. I'm a foreigner. We do have them here in America. There's a lot of people who immigrate here, and they don't know what everything is, so sometimes you have to tell them. Like if you guys came to Australia, I'd have to tell you a few things about some of the stuff there, and I mean, I wouldn't think you were stupid for not knowing what it was, because we have some weird stuff there too. I mean, outside of Australia, who else has koalas? And and kangaroos and shit like that. So, but anyway, I figured I'd make a little video. There's a few funny stores around and chains. All right, this is the best one. Like I've been living outside of Australia for the last 10 years now, and there's this place. I swear the first thing I thought when I thought naughty as soon as I heard the name of this place, and I was like, oh, I didn't really think it was that, but you called it BJ's. BJ's stands for blowjobs. You know, I mean, what else would it be? A store where you go get blowjobs, you know? I mean, America's into entrepreneurs and stuff like that. It's into big ideas. It's into things like that. So why not, right? So I tell the people, you know, I think they kind of really think that I think it's a store for blowjobs, because that's kind of half the fun, is pretending you're stupid sometimes. But yeah. So I go in there. I'm walking around BJ's. I'm thinking, oh, it's a discount store. Another example of how you name things that you just don't know what it is unless you're an American. You know? It's like you play this game with foreigners. Can you figure out what the fuck this is? Anyway, I think that's enough for my rant.